Hello, YouTubers. This is Codger speaking, and I have yet another video to show you my uh, progress so far on the new program that I'm working on. This is just almost ready to wrap up and make available to users, and I hope to be able to do that today. I think one of the things I need to do is change the title of the main window. I'm going to call this R8 control, or rate control for short. Or you can really call it just about anything you want to, but it will be R8 control. Of course, it's a control for use with Run 8 simulator. And I think it's just about ready to make available. So I'll try to do that today. And I will put a link in the description of this video below to a Google folder where you can find the zip file and download it. All that you need to do to install it on your machine is extract all the files from the zip file and copy the files into a folder, and the application will be the exe file in the root folder of the zip file. So I hope that you'll download it and try it out with Run 8. Let me know what you think. If you have any difficulties with it, if you have any problems or suggestions for improvement, all those things I'll be glad to entertain. For this video, I'm going to put the Run 8 simulator in a small window down on the left-hand side. You can see it there. And the big window is going to be for R8 control, so that you can see exactly how that is working. But let me show you some of the various features of the program. This is what it looks like from the when you first open it up. What it looks like by default. It is designed to work on a fairly large monitor, and you can put it on a smaller monitor, but when you make this window smaller, then you're going to see that this main window is going to get almost so small that it's not useful anymore. Let me just show you what that looks like. We can you can see how when I make the window smaller, then the main window is going to automatically reduce in size so that it fits within the main window screen. If you uh, maximize the window, then it's going to grow in size to fill up the screen as much as possible and keep its own size there. It has several different docked windows here on the left and the right. Driver 1 and Driver 2 are the windows I suspect that you'll want to keep up most of the time while you're driving a train. And then there is a DPU window right over here on the right. Um, if you want to put up a fence between your DPUs, you can do so here, and you can set you can use these controls for setting the throttle of the DPU, the dynamic brakes, and so on. There's a radio control here for if you want to tone up the dispatcher, you can do that with these controls. There's a control here for lights, turning on the cab light, the step light, the gauge light. You can set the front headlights with this control and rear headlights here. Over on the left-hand side in the driver 2 control, you have the horn, the bell, the distance up counter, distance down to start the distance, and interesting, I thought there was an alert, a reset button here somewhere that I'm missing, but maybe I'm not sure exactly what happened to that. I may have to fix that before I send it out. But there's an alert button here. I plan to make this button a little bit larger so it's easy to see and easy to get to in when your alert goes off. And you can click that and disable the alert that shows up. A slow speed a button to start the slow speed, buttons to increment the slow speed, and a button to decrement the slow speed. There's an auto tab here for starting your engines. Auto start, auto MU, auto CB, auto AB, and auto EOT. These are the same auto commands that you get within the Run 8 simulator, and you can start them over here if you want to without bringing up those commands on the train display. And then there is a startup window here if you want to start your engines up one by one in a more realistic way. You can do that by going to each of the engines and start the engine here. The HEP, you can set the isolation switch, the train brake cutout, service selector, the MU headlight switches, and then these buttons down here to set the control switch, the gen switch, the engine run switch, and the dynamic brake switch. In addition to the main window that you see here, there's also a program properties window for setting some of the program properties. The maximum safe speed, the maximum caution speed, and the maximum speedometer speed are used to set up these arcs on the speedometer. And this is the maximum safe speed. Here, I've just arbitrarily set it to 60. The maximum caution speed is arbitrarily set to 70. The maximum danger speed arbitrarily set to 80. You probably want to set that to the maximum speedometer speed. And that also is one of the settings here, maximum speedometer. As a matter of fact, the maximum speedometer and the maximum danger speed are the same. They'll always be the same value there. The pressure reference sets this little triangle here for your brake indication, and then this path is a path to the maps directory under the Run 8 simulator executable directory, and it's where the grade maps are found. And the purpose for that is to set up this menu. If you set this value correctly, then this menu gets created, and you can go in and just by simply clicking on any one of these, like the SBD for San Bernardino, it'll bring up the San Bernardino grade map in its own directory. And similarly, if you come in here and let's say you are in Southern California and you want to see the Mojave map, just click on that, and that's going to, if necessary, go out to the Depot Plus website and download this map into one of your directories. And subsequently, each time you open up this map, it will be opened from the directory until you click Refresh Maps. And what Refresh Maps does is it deletes all the maps that you have installed by using this menu. And you want to do that every now and then. I'd say once a week or something like that, just to be sure that you're getting the latest uh, maps from the Depot Plus. On the file menu, there is a setup menu that goes to the setup window. A quick way to get there, another way to get there. And then there's a close button that will close the window. I didn't think that worked, but it does, because I just started it the other day. So let me bring up my screen again, and we'll bring this back up. On the window directory, or the window menu, there are buttons to the main windows in the program. If you're not exactly sure where a particular window is, you can come here to this window and click on it, and that will automatically bring that window to the top, just as I did now for the lights window over here. You can set the persistent state mode if you wish, and what this does is, if you change this window in any way, and let's say now I'm, instead of the drive 1 and the drive 2, I've got the auto window open here, and the lights window opened over here, and I've got program properties opened right there. And so if I close this now, and then the next time I come in and open it up, those windows will persist and stay up like that. If you want to get back to the default, there's a couple of ways you can do that. You can come in here to the window directory and click default layout, and that'll get back to, well, for the most part, it'll get back to the default setup. For some reason, it didn't bring the main window up here in the way that you would expect, but at least for the most part, it opens it all up. The other way to get back to default is simply disable the persist state mode. And then if you disable the persist state mode and close the window and reopen it, then the next time it opens up, it's going to open up in the default setting here, just as you see it. And so I think one other menu here is the About window that opens up a little window, tells you a little bit about the R8 control, and also gives some attribution to some of the designers of the icons that we use for run the R8 control application. So let's get in a train and see how this works just for a few minutes. I'm going to go over here and select the train, and now that train is mine. And now that the train is mine, I can see that I am connected. In order to be connected, you have to have this custom USB device. Use custom device. That has to be checked in order for the application to run. And currently, it expects, the application expects the UDP port 18888 to be the UDP port that Run 8 uses, and it will find it there and be able to communicate with it. And you can see now we are communicating with the device. I've got a full tank of fuel. My parking brake is enabled, and let's see, Uh, it's telling me my temperature is 139. I'm not sure why the temperature is already so high on the engines, but that is as it is. So let's go ahead and go into the driver. Well, go into the startup menu here. No, not startup, but auto. And we're going to auto start the consist. You see RPMs now coming up for the main engine. And we're getting a flow into the brake pipes. Main reservoir is coming up. The brake pipe pressure is coming up. Let me just maximize this, make it easier for you to see. And we'll give it a few minutes to get all the values up there. Let's go ahead. We'll click Auto MU. You probably can't see, but it says over here, MU connection OK, just like it would in if you did the same thing with the Run 8 menu. I'm going to click Auto CB for the circuit breakers. And we get an indication here that locomotive circuit breakers and isolation switches are automatically set. I'm going to click the Auto AB, and there is no indication apparently for the Auto AB. I'm not sure if that is normal or not, but that sets the air brakes. And finally the Auto EOT, and we can see Auto EOT success. And now we have an EOT ID is 28525. The brake pipe now is up to about 30. Let's go ahead and give it some throttle, so maybe we'll get that value up faster. And you can see the brake pipe gauge is slowly increasing. This should come up to about 90. Notice over on the right-hand side, we have an indication for the miles per hour per minute, which is the accelerometer. You'll see here in a moment that this also is an acceleration indicator, but it works a little bit differently than this indication. This arrow is going to take the value that is in the miles per hour per minute and add that to the speedometer needle value. And so we'll have an indication with this arrow where the train or what the train speed will be in 1 minute based upon this little arrow here. A very nice little feature there. So we've got the brake pipe now is at 100 and, well, nearly 90. Our main is now around 110, and that's probably good enough for us to get started here on the train. So let's reduce our throttle. You'll notice here that when the throttle is above 0, it's in notch 1, 2, 3 through 8, then the reverser is disabled. You can't change it, and the dynamic brakes are disabled. That's the way it would work in the train, and so we set it up that way. So you don't even get an error message by clicking on these things, simply because they're disabled. So we're going to bring the throttle back down, one notch at a time. Now that we're back to notch 0, the reverser is enabled and the dynamic brakes are enabled. So either one of those can be moved. Now, I'm going to go ahead and set the reverser to forward, and let's see, I'm going to release the brakes, and let's go turn on the dispatcher. Let's see, engage auto on all routes, and I'm going to click DS menu over here and tone the dispatcher. Do it the easy way. And now I'm going to request the next signal. Auto comes back, said answering BNSF, Barstow Tower. Okie dokie, BNSF 6200. That is an interesting number. Why is that 6200? That should be 6113. That is very odd. Said okie dokie, but he hasn't told us that we're clear yet. So, although if I look over here on my my display, my previous signal says clear, but the next signal says stop. Let's go ahead and get in the locomotive. There's another train that's getting ready to go. Oh, I was at the end of the train, I guess. So it is 9200. I was going the wrong direction. And let's take a look at, well, let's go get our lights on, our step lights and our gauge light. We want our front headlight to full and our rear headlight off. And we'll come over here to driver 2 and just get that ready. Go back here to driver 1. Do a bail off for the engine brakes. Need to be careful with these buttons. Here's the EOT emergency stop. That'll stop your locomotive and put you in a PCS error mode. But that's what that's for. Still waiting on the dispatcher. Again, guess we could go on up to the signal. It's a mile away. So let's go ahead and do that. We're in the forward gear, and next signal is approach, and it says proceed on signal indication. We're ready to go. And we'll and our speed limit here is 15. And notice over here the next speed indicator showing that we're slowing down. If we continue to slow down like this, we'll be down to 6 miles per hour in 1 minute. And so need to give it a little bit of gas just briefly. And now it's going to really ramp our speed up. If we're not careful, we'll be going too fast. And so we drop the power. Well, there is an interesting I didn't think that was the right direction. I don't know why it put us in that direction. There's a train in our way. So I'm not sure what was going on there. But I'm not going to try to work that out. And I think we've seen enough of the applications for you to get the idea of what's available in here. And notice there are indicators here on the bottom for the horn, for bell, the parking brake. Let's go ahead and set the parking. And we'll reduce the dynamic brakes. That says the throttle must be idle before the dynamic brake must be off, and the reverser must be forward or reverse in order to move the dynamic brakes. But that's not what the situation was. The throttle was off, or it is in idle. I think that's a bug in their logic there, throwing up that error message. But now I've got the dynamic brakes set to off, and I can set the reverser to neutral. I can put the throttle back in idle, and our parking brake is set. And so we can go ahead and shut our machine down if we want to. The headlight, we have a headlights indicator here, but it doesn't work in the train simply because the Run 8 data dump does not include that information, and so there's no way I can tell what the headlights are doing from Run 8, whether they're on or off. I could infer it based upon what I've done, but something else could happen to cause the headlights to go off and I wouldn't know it. This is the alert indicator. When the alert goes off, this first turns yellow and then red. This is the sand indicator or wheel slip indicator, a compressor indicator. I watched for the compressor to turn on when we first started the engine up. Didn't see it. Don't know why. I think the compressor should be going at that time. The PCS indicators when you're in a PCS error mode. Then the end of train ID, and these signals give us information about the end of train. Uh, this is the moving indicator, the beacon indicator, the COM test indicator, and an error indicator down here. So those are all the features that are available in the R8 control. Uh, watch for this to be ready for download a little bit later today. This is November the 16th, 2024, and currently 9:48 in the morning Central Time. And so sometime after that, come in to YouTube and look for a link to download the source, or not the source, but the compiled code for Run 8 control. Thanks for watching.